Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. I am your friend Ishika. Today I am with Professor Yan Suryanarayan sir. It's our 6th episode of Touching Talk. Let's get started. Sir, my question to you is, what are your proudest moment in colleges as a lecturer?
Yes. First, let me thank you. Let me thank all the viewers who have been watching all these episodes, and they have been giving us feedback, an excellent feedback that we are doing together very well, and you are doing excellent, far superior. Eh? So that's what we have to do. So we welcome our viewers, and in this, I'm going to tell something different. Ishra, if you allow me. I'm not going to answer this question, but something else I'm going to tell which I have been thinking over. And see, this is about Hindi. Hindi was never heard in South in my school days, in my college days. But Hindi was a subject. Yes. And we had a small book known as Bachon Ki Kitab. That was taught by a South Indian. In South Indian way of teaching Hindi. And this small book, was taught in the classroom, and we were not examined in that book. There was no test at all. At the end of the year, at the end of the course. But we were allowed to read every week 2-3 lessons from the book known as Bachon Ki Kitab. I heard more Hindi from a North Indian beggar who was in South India. And he used to stand outside South Indian houses and sing some songs from Hindi films. And the songs were, in those days, rock and roll songs. Hindi. Rock. And I took a lot of interest in those songs, and I made that boy to sing again and again. So I heard more Hindi from those songs. And then some elders who had seen Hindi movies, they used to tell us some Hindi dialogues, which impressed them very much. That's how we came to know dialogues of Devanand, dialogues of Dilip Kumar, dialogues of Raj Kapoor. See? I never heard directly these, nor I was in theatre. But these were heard by the others, and they used to tell these dialogues directly to us and to impress us. For the first time in 1965, I came to Hyderabad. I told on one of the clips, and to visit my father. In Hyderabad, I heard more Hindi. And I also saw more Hindi written. See? So, till today, my Hindi is a little unsteady. See? It's a rickety Hindi, not very steady on the legs. See? And I cannot read Hindi, the Devanagari Lipi, even today. See? But I pretend that I have read it, and I could guess the meaning, but never the content. I never read out to anybody. See? But in the same year, when my wife was in the 3rd year, I met her. See? And she spoke Hindi. See? I could speak even a single word of Hindi. See? And we were going to have a very, very long affair ending in a marriage. See? Then I told her, I would know nothing about this language, would like to know more, but I was not very conversant with the language, I told her. Then we began to speak English. We began. And whenever we met, we spoke English only. For a long time we spoke English. See?
Hmm.
See? And then this continued for a long time. See? Speaking English with her.
Hmm.
Then after my marriage, my in-laws, father-in-law and mother-in-law, they also spoke English
Hmm.
because they came to know Suri does not know Hindi
Hmm.
or Punjabi. So let us speak English. So these Punjabi women, who were 50, 60, 70 years, they could speak English.
Oh.
And also the other men, who were old, they could speak English, Urdu, and Persian also they used to speak languages. They spoke all these languages. So
Hmm.
I went with my wife Sarita to live in Burli. See? And there I began to live with her speaking only English. No other language, not Hindi at all. See? And she would tell me, she never taught me Hindi.
Huh?
See? I heard Hindi, I heard more Marathi and Parli, not that much Hindi,
Hmm.
but she never taught me Hindi.
Hmm.
She spoke English only, and I also spoke English. My children were born, and they also began to learn English only from us
Hmm.
to speak. And now and then she would correct my English, Hindi, because I had difficulty in finding the difference between 230 and 130.
Oh.
With adai and deda adai. So if somebody asks me the price of something, 1.5 rupees or 2.5 rupees, I would say, he would say 1.5 rupees, and I would say, I would give 2.5 rupees. So even till today, I have some confusion. Is it there or adai? 2.5. My wife never corrected this one.
Huh?
And still now, I have got the confusion, what to do with this kind of thing. The second was, maaf karo, saaf karo.
Huh?
This was, maaf karo, saaf karo.
Sakura.
The servant would come,
Hmm.
I had to tell her, because my wife would be away to school. The servant had to sweep, mop. I had to tell her, what to tell her. Either it is maaf karo, or saaf karo. See?
Huh?
Then, once she told my wife, see, sir does not know what is it. I used to tell her, maaf karo. I should have said saaf karo. See?
Huh?
There were other Tamilians in BHEL.
Hmm.
They thought I knew more Hindi, and they asked my advice. I told them, yes, this is the I told this is the Hindi. They said, maaf karo, saaf karo, you have to say. And they also practice it at home. And they also got wonderful. They used to laugh at these things. See? Not only this one, no. I wanted to sing some songs. I told my wife, see, I am going to sing some songs, Hindi songs.
Huh?
To impress you, very romantic songs I'm going to.
Hmm.
From the Baharo Pool Barsao.
Huh?
One song, a very famous song in my days. Mera Mehboob. Aaye jaye wo. Aaye jaye kya ho gaya nahi malum. See? And a few other songs, which were very popular in those days and sung by Balasubramaniam, who sang many Hindi songs. See? Balasubramaniam. He sang many Hindi songs, See? So I said I would sing a song. See? Then I sang one song. She said, no, all right. You should never sing any song hereafter. First thing, this Balasubramaniam, he does not know Hindi at all. See? He is South Indian, his pronunciation of Hindi is very, very bad. Then I thought, what about, shall I try one Yesudas song? You know Yesudas song, no? He said, no, please don't sing any song. Either Balasubramaniam or Yesudas. And when you sing, you make it more nasty, eh? More confusing, and there is no melody, nothing at all in the song, eh? Once my father heard this one, eh, that I would be able to sing this. The same song, Baharo Pul Barsao, Mera Numbu Hai. My father-in-law was in another room, eh, and then I was practicing here. He came immediately. Suri, if you sing like this, she will never come. If you sing Hindi song in this way, the famous song, it was picturized on Rajendra Kumar in some film. Eh? He came immediately. No. Nobody will come if you sing like this in this song. Eh? So she used to tell me, you don't talk Hindi at all at home, and you don't sing any Hindi song. Either your Balasubramaniam song or Yesudas song. Any famous song I don't want to hear. I said, stop singing songs. Then I had one very big doubt. I asked her once, the hero in Hindi, is it Bewafa or Bewakoof? I had tremendous doubt even today in Ishika. What is Bewafa and Bewakoof? And she was very much amused, but she was not also, what is it, Bewakoof or Bewafa? Bewafa is an important word, not Bewakoof. In the romantic situation, they don't use that word. There is a lot of differences there. It's better not to talk this language at all, not to talk. See? And my son, he spoke Marathi outside, and English at home. A lot of Marathi he spoke. See? My wife also learned Marathi very well. And she, among her friends, would speak Marathi. See? And with servants especially, she would speak Marathi. See? And our Hindi was so good, because mother tongue was Punjabi. So the school asked her to teach Hindi. Yes. In those days, it was central syllabus, CBSE. So she was asked to teach Hindi, and she taught Hindi very well because she knew how to pronounce this. And then, see, this kind of English, we continued till we were together. We spoke English for a long time, and then people said, these are very nice people, these Surinarayan and Miss Surinarayan. They never quarrel. I told her, how can we quarrel? See, she knows only enough English words. She does not know more English words to speak angrily, and I also have enough English words. I can't use more English words to speak with her angrily. So we had very limited vocabulary, very decent vocabulary, and we never had vocabulary very bad words, indecent words, or even words expressing anger. No, we never had this one. So, because of this, our language communication was limited. We were not able to express, some feelings and emotions, No, we were not able to. Because we were speaking English, and that had limit. And we were in Maharashtra, and others were speaking Marathi, and friends who came to the CES, So, limited was also, And this kind of, not able to speak Hindi, not able to learn Hindi, and that made us learn English more and more. Children had to speak English only with us. Yes. And sometimes I wonder, if anybody asked my son's mother tongue, what would he say? my son's mother tongue. If an application form is a blank, Sajjan story mother tongue.
Huh?
What would be his mother tongue? Not Punjabi,
Huh?
eh? Isn't it? I mean, not Hindi, but he spoke English only.
Hmm?
Eh? So, this is my experience of speaking English, I mean Hindi.
Oh.
Not able to learn Hindi very well,
Hmm?
eh? But we live together very well because of our English only.
Huh?
Perhaps had we spoken Hindi, we would have quarreled more. And she would have won the battle
Hmm?
in Hindi, because I had only limited words in Hindi. I knew nothing Hindi, so she would speak more Hindi, and she would win English. I had upper hand, but I never used, I never spoke any more of those words.
Oh.
But we liked that one, and people never noticed this one, that we were speaking English only at home.
Hmm?
So my children also learned English. Not only English they learned Marathi very well, Hindi very well, Punjabi very well. They learned all the languages.
Hmm?
Except they were not able to learn South Indian languages, Telugu, Tamil.
Hmm.
We were not there at all, with our children. So they didn't learn at all.
Sir, any highlights of your children's upbringing?
Yes, so many things I can tell you about bringing up children in a small town.
Hmm?
See? Especially where there are no other good influences. See? Influences which come from people,
Hmm?
institutions. See?
Huh?
And where such influences don't exist, home is the place where everything begins. Especially children, teaching children,
Hmm?
and correcting them, their behavior, everything.
Hmm?
It is in my house, in Parli,
Hmm?
the dining table was very important for us.
Oh.
The dining table, we gathered around the dining table.
Hmm?
See? My wife on one side
Hmm?
with some vegetables, chopping them for cooking, or doing some school work.
Hmm?
I was on the other side, reading a book or something like that. And my son was on the other side.
Huh?
See? We were always at the table.
Oh.
See? Unless there were some guests in the drawing room
Hmm?
or somebody else, Otherwise, we were always at the dining table only.
Oh.
My wife at one end, wife
Hmm?
doing her work, either school work or domestic work, kitchen work. My son was on the side.
Hmm?
I was on this side. I had no important work to do actually, but I was actually keeping my son very close to some schedule.
Hmm?
See? And Ishika, this is going to be a very interesting thing.
Hmm?
All textbooks, of his class textbooks,
Hmm?
I had 2 copies.
Oh.
2 copies of every book.
Hmm?
And I would give him 1 copy, I would keep the other copy with me.
Hmm?
He would sit on the other side, and I would sit on this side. And we both would read.
Oh.
Yeah. I never allowed him.
Hmm?
I never allowed him to leave the table.
Oh.
And a few times he does, Daddy, allow me to go to the tower.
Hmm?
I will read anything you want me to do, but allow me to read, go to the tower and meet my friends.
Huh?
I knew very well whom he would meet at the tower. And tower was very far actually for us in those days. Okay? But even though some subjects,
Hmm?
some subjects are chemistry, biology, zoology, botany, and then physics.
Hmm?
These were not familiar subjects to me, but I began to read them and began to make him read. He said, you read,
Hmm?
and I am also going to read. See? In this way, I made him sit at the table
Hmm?
and open the book and willingly or unwillingly read.
Huh?
Even if you got angry, it doesn't matter, but read the number of pages.
Oh.
See? Then what did I do? I would take him on my scooter to my friend Rajamama's house. See? And Rajamama would teach him for 1 hour physics, chemistry, mathematics.
Oh.
He was teaching his son also these subjects. So I would go at 8 o'clock on my scooter and take him there. And Rajamama would give him homework and answering the old questions, university questions or board questions. And I would make him answer the questions. See? Again we would go, every day we went there. A very nice person. He not only taught him, and when he was teaching my son and his own son, I was teaching his wife, 12th class English. I was teaching her in another room. And she would make a lot of nice upma and other things to give us. See? And this went on very well, no? But my son was not that well in these subjects, science subjects. Though he learned these subjects very well, but he was not actually as good as the other children. But we never bothered for that one. We never told him also that he should improve more. Like some important families in those days, no, those children were far ahead of him. They were far ahead of him. And later on also they went far ahead of him, you know. They became doctors, they became engineers. See? But he was lagging behind, but he never felt. See? Once my wife asked him, why don't you do like this? That boy or this boy, he was very well at mathematics, very well at physics, why don't you do this? And he used to give a very simple answer, no? Mummy, are they not your friends? Eh? They are your friends, children only. Then why do you ask me this question? So he never took it very serious with these things. Eh? And with them also, you know, he played very well, but he was never jealous of their success. They were very successful. They were really very successful, but never bothered for them. He continued to be what we call, you know, the slow learner. A bit slow learner and not so successful, not so ambitious. We knew these things, but we kept him with us and made him not to leave reading, writing, and then taking him to others' house. I took him to others' houses for coaching. See? And then we gave excellent clothes. See? Very well. And I gave him bath. Every day. He was not at all ready, many times. I would pull him inside the bathroom. He would say, no, I don't want to take bath. No, I would remove clothes. So, give him good scrubbing, He would come out crying. Mommy, you see what daddy is doing. You should not do like that to give him bath to me. I should give him bath and give him good clothes. Very good clothes. And then we used to send him out. Luckily, we had the children of other families, good families, with whom he played. They were nearby, very nearby, in 2-3 houses, He met them, only those children. He played for limited number of hours in the evening, and he would come back. See? And he would never go beyond that, these 5 families. One family, Agarwal family, one family, Mr. Patki, one family, Mr. Goralkar. And these are families, whose children came very often to us and played with them. And we gave him, my wife gave him very good food especially, and she made chicken and mutton for him. Even today he likes chicken very much. And she would make chicken and mutton for him, though she ate very little and I didn't eat much. But we made chicken. And then other Punjabi dishes, to make him very strong. Though he was not very strong, he could never grow very strong, but he had all these things. Then we traveled together, went very far, always together. No? We were always together, Ishika.
Hmm.
He was never away from us, and we were never away from him.
Hmm.
Even he was in our Nanded doing B.Ed. We went very often to Gurudwara. We took him to Gurudwara. Gurudwara brought him to his room. See? So we were always together, and we made long journey to Shirdi with him,
Hmm.
and sometimes to Hyderabad to see our relatives. See?
Hmm.
He was always with us. See?
Hmm.
Never away from us and in the company of bad boys.
Oh.
See? And he was always in the company of good boys. Good boys means who were studying, getting better marks, better grades, and then finally admission to medicine and engineering. In those days, these were the only two goals, medicine and engineering.
No.
See? And then we brought him very often to North India, to see the grandparents.
Hmm.
See? And then he was very much impressed by the way of these people were living. North Indians, Punjabis.
Hmm.
And then my brother-in-law asked me, what do you want to become?
Hmm.
See? If you want to become in merchant navy and working on a ship, then you must study very well. You should get your BE degree.
Hmm.
See? Or if you want to become only as an ordinary sailor,
Hmm.
then 12th class would do. We said he made him do BE. He said, you do BE, and then there are opportunities, you appear for exam interviews, they would select you, give you training.
Hmm.
See? And this is very interesting thing, See? I was in Parli,
Hmm.
very, very far away, and with my wife and my children,
Hmm.
and my in-laws were here. My father-in-law, mother-in-law, brother-in-law. Actually, why should they bother
Hmm.
for the sisters' children far away? See? Unnecessary. But it is not like this. Especially Punjabi. No. Sister's child is also my child.
Hmm.
Sister's child's future is also my son's future.
Hmm.
See? So they took lot of care of my daughter.
Hmm.
Yes. Very lot of care. And lot of care of my son also, He said, no, they are our children.
Hmm.
We had no money. You see, my salary in those days was hardly 500 rupees.
Oh.
See? But these people said, no, we have to take care of them.
Hmm.
They are also the children of our own family. See, this is what the answer to your question, the family life,
Hmm.
We enjoyed very well, very nice rooms. Everything was excellent, even the handkerchief, towel, bed sheet, cups, saucers, they are of excellent quality.
Oh.
Whatever you bought. Everything. And then we watched TV, but we watched TV together
Huh?
for some time. See? Either before dinner or after dinner for some time only we watched.
Hmm.
And we never allowed him to watch TV himself, in the night or any time, no.
Hmm.
It never happened.
Oh.
See? We never allowed him to watch TV like this.
Sir, any advice for young teachers?
Yeah?
Teachers?
Yes, you teach, see, this is prescribed, no? I would read the text very well. I knew the text, every poem I knew prescribed in the book, every prose lesson. See? I was very, I knew from the end to the end I knew you very well. So, a teacher should know the text very well.
Hmm.
And the text will make you a master of the content of what the book has.
Hmm.
Its vocabulary, its sentence structure, its meaning, everything. You master it because you have read it so many times,
Hmm.
So you assimilate it, you become a lot of command over that one.
Oh.
So, for example, what happened, it's a very interesting question I'll answer. Once my friend went to the classroom, Ishika, he went to the classroom and then he told them a story. See? and they were laughing, clapping, everything.
Huh?
See? From the staff room we could hear sounds coming from the classroom. Suddenly it stopped. Everything. They were not only clapping, everything. They were like, tell us more about the story. Come on, continue the story. See? What happened? No, my friend had read only half of the story. He was sitting by my side, the staff room. He said, "This much is enough for today." See? And then the rest of the story I will tell tomorrow. So he went to the classroom. He told first half very well. Very well he told. And got appreciation from everybody. See? But when he came to the end of the first half, still he had 25 minutes time. And then what to do? But 45 minutes, 20 minutes he finished the first half. And 25 minutes more he had, And they became very restless, students. They began to shout. They began to thump on the edge. "Oh, come on, tell the story. We want to listen to the entire story." I didn't know the entire story. There was so much noise, They're banging the doors and windows. The principal came. So what is happening here? And we also ran to the classroom. I went there first. See? The principal asked, what is going on, your colleague? See? How could I tell the principal? That he had read half the story. See? So that was very noisy. The whole college was disturbed. All the classrooms were disturbed. See? Then he came back and said, "Sir, I am very sorry, sir. I should have read the whole story. See? And I should have told the whole story." What? No, you could have done something else. See? All right, you could not tell the entire story, but inventive, be very creative. See? As a teacher having 10 years, 15 years experience, how to manage now? See? How to tell some other story? Or how to manage another 20 minutes? If I were there, I would tell another story. I would do something. See? So this should not happen at all.